The Houston Texans sure do have a tough one on a short week. No C.J. Stroud, no Jalen Petrie, no problem for the Houston Texans. We'll talk about that and get you through the checkmark game as well. Texans offense versus the Bills defense versus the Texans offense. We'll mix in a little conversation there about special teams as well. Appreciate you for joining the show. Welcome into the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Let's talk some Texans. And let's do it with some caffeine, a listener recommended Rain White Haze for our caffeine this morning. Caffeine with Cody. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, that's got a little white monster to it. That's pretty good. So we're trying that. Appreciate you for joining live. Get live in the comment section with your comments, questions, your joys, and your concerns. If you're after the fact, the comment section stays rolling. So check that out. Let's talk about this Bills and Texans game Thursday Night Football. The 5-5 Houston Texans in the thick of things in the playoff hunt in the AFC. Got to be a wild card team right now unless a lot of things happen and help you out to get you back into the AFC South conversation. But none of that matters if you lose to these next few playoff teams that you're playing. The Buffalo Bills here on Thursday night, the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday after Thanksgiving, and to start December, the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. The Colts game also is a road game as well. So 3 straight playoff teams and 3 tough opponents, 2 of them on the road after this Thursday nighter against the Buffalo Bills. But let's talk about the Bills matchup. This is a tough Bills team coming to town. Now, they've had some roller coastery elements to their season, and losing to the Miami Dolphins was probably not on many people's bingo card when the thing got going a few weeks ago. They bounced back nicely, taking care of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, struggling early and then really getting it going. And Josh Allen coming off of a 6-touchdown performance is going to be tough to handle. But I keep thinking back to a year ago when Josh Allen came to NRG Stadium. There were some players missing over on offense, but DeMeco Ryans and his team handled Josh Allen to a really large degree, and the worst game of his professional football career. And the Texans offense struggled through that game, but ultimately they were able to get enough from the offense to win the football game. And it kind of feels like that's the situation this week against the Buffalo Bills. The Texans defense is probably even better than the defense last year. If they're going to have a chance, they're going to have to slow down and maybe even stop Josh Allen in this game. And the offense, well, you've got to cobble it together offensively for this Texans team. Of course, DeMeco Ryans letting us all know this week, hey, no C.J. Stroud, no Jalen Petrie. And that makes cobbling everything together a little bit more difficult.
To start just with injury updates, C.J. and Jalen will be out. Both guys are progressing. They're doing better. But right now with the short turnaround, game on Thursday, just don't have enough days for those guys to be available.
Now, a normal week for the Texans, they're probably playing C.J. Stroud against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, and they probably have Jalen Petrie out there playing defense the exact way that they want to play defense. But it's a short week. They don't. Well, they have the advantage of being at home on the short week, so that's a good one. You wouldn't trade that for your starting quarterback, but it's going to be a Davis Mills experience. And Mills has been solid enough at the quarterback spot. He had a fantastic game against the Jaguars, a really hot fourth quarter finish, and then he looked a little bit better and more competent, though the offense struggled a little bit against the Tennessee Titans. But I'd put that on the rushing attack not being able to get going and some of the issues that the team overall had as an offense, not just Davis Mills centric. But here his third start now, and if Mills finishes his 3-start streak with 2-1 as his record, that's more than you can ask for from your starting or from your backup quarterback. Most backup quarterbacks are going to give you 1-2. A lot of backup quarterbacks will give you 0-3 in that stretch. But my bar for the backup has always been, if your guy misses 4 games, can your backup give you 2-2? Well, Davis Mills, if C.J. Stroud indeed has missed only 3 games, and Davis Mills gives you 2-1, you got to make do with that. Now, these final 7 games that the Texans have left after getting to 5-5, you really can only afford probably 2 losses in that. So you'd prefer that it not be Buffalo on Thursday night, because then your margin for error shrinks magnificently. and you only can afford really one more loss because you got to get to that magic number of 10 for the playoffs. You got to get to that magic number of 10 wins to hopefully find yourself in the mix for the playoffs. Excuse me. I am a little under the weather, so I appreciate everybody staying with me through that. But to get to 10, you're going to have to flip one of these games that are tough games. You got 2 Colts games. You've got a game against the Chargers on the road. You've got the Chiefs on the road. And you got this Bills game. And it's a tough game. But I like the spot for the Texans, and I like the spot for where you're getting the Buffalo Bills, because coming off of a roller coaster game, short week, they're banged up. They're going to be missing some guys. They have a weird thing going on with Khalil Shakir, who's one of the wide receivers that they rely on, one of their pass catchers that they rely on. Shakir hasn't practiced this week. It's a personal issue. He hasn't practiced the first 2 days. Now, obviously, if he does end up going, then, okay, well, he hadn't practiced at all this week, but personal issue causing you to miss 2 consecutive practices. Some of their other wide receiver situations are just very unimpressive. They're going to be without their tight end, Dalton Kincaid. And you start thinking, okay, like, yeah, it's going to be on just Josh Allen. Like, he's going to have to put it on his back. And if the Texans stop him, then they should win the football game, because they stop Josh Allen. You keep enough points off the scoreboard. Hopefully Kaimi and his return, as well as Davis Mills, give you just enough in this one. But it's a tough matchup, and it's one that you'd prefer to have C.J. Stroud. You'd prefer to have C.J. Stroud coming off of weeks of playing and weeks of practice, but you don't. And so you have Davis Mills. And I like this spot a little bit for Davis Mills. I feel better about him here in game 3 than I do in starting game 1. Because remember, coming off that horrible finish to the Denver game where he just kind of looked out of sorts. He was missing high. And yeah, that's the Denver Broncos. It's a really tough defense. He hasn't faced a defense quite like that, and he's not going to face a defense quite like that on Thursday. This Buffalo Bills team is Josh Allen and James Cook centric. If those guys are having good days, they're probably going to win. If those guys get slowed down, they're probably going to lose the football game. And as you look at games that the Bills have lost this year, they do not win these close, ugly games. I mean, they've had some close ones where they've taken care of their business, but when it gets ugly, it gets nasty. The Bills, I don't know if they're ready to go slug it out in the mud like the Texans, who constantly play ugly football games and have experience with grinding out victories against opponents. Now, this is a good opponent. They haven't beaten very many good opponents here this season. Let's see what they can do on Thursday night. They're going to have to use the advantages they do have to win this game. Where are those advantages? Well, we'll find out in the Checkmark game. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Right after I tell you about my friends at Sleeper. Sleeper is fantastic for daily fantasy right now. You're going to get a free $20 entry with no deposit required when you use my code STOOTS, S-T-O-O-T-S, S-T-O-O-T-S. You see it down there in the corner. There's a link in the description down below. You're also going to get that deposit match up to $100. Put in 100, get 100. Put in 50, get in 50. Put 20, get 20. But free deposit match, or you get the free play, you get the deposit match, all with my code STOOTS, S-T-O-O-T-S. Sleeper is the best. We'll put together a sleeper entry for this game before the game Thursday night. So be on the lookout for that here on the channel. And of course, it is a fantastic scores app as well. So a free $20 entry and a deposit match up to $100. Terms and conditions do apply. Appreciate my friends at Sleeper for sponsoring this video. Let's get to some comments, some questions, some joys, and some concerns from this matchup, and then we will get to the first round of the Checkmark game. This imitation white monster is pretty good. Members and super chats go to the front of the line, so I must Pandaline. Appreciate you for jumping in today. Let's get this dub. Good morning, all, and happy hump day. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic week. Let's see what everybody's getting into. Christopher, appreciate you for the kind words. I'm not the GOAT. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Got a long way to go, but I appreciate the kind words. Patrick's going to be here in a little while. Dime's ready for checkmark time. Ricardo's in here. Rick's giving Landry a hard time for not taking care of the At My Fattest challenge yesterday. You could catch that on SNL, on the SNL channel from yesterday. Caffeine with Cody. Gerald, appreciate you. JB Allen, the Annihilator. He says, that's a cool hat you're wearing. I believe yours is in the mail, sir. Rick, good to see you. The Herding, good to see you. Ricardo, Bills flying into Houston today. Yeah, they'll get in today. They'll play tomorrow. Gosh, it's already here, huh? It's already here. Gerald with an alley-oop here. I like that hat. Where can I get it? Gerald, there's a link in the description down below for Houston football merchandise, and you can check it out right there. You can get it picked up. You can buy these hats as well as some of the other Houston football hats that I have at the link in the description down below. And if you buy 2 hats, you get a discount. So I'll ship them, or I'll pack them up and ship them out to you as soon as you purchase one. But there's a link in the description down below. Appreciate you. BG, good to see you. Panda, appreciate you. Poncelios, what's up, fellas? You guys good? You guys good? Kyle, appreciate you. Coffee lover, this game honestly deserves better than Thursday Night Football. I actually feel like it's an awesome Thursday Night Football game. We've had some stinkers on Thursday Night Football. Someone's going to need to wake Al Michaels up for the broadcast because he seemingly falls asleep every time. Every time there's an exciting play in Thursday Night Football. Rich Boy, I feel like an idiot getting excited for another Texans primetime game. They won't be bad in primetime forever. You know what? Davis Mills in primetime? You know, Money Mills. We found out yesterday via my good friend Texans Cap that every victory that Davis Mills leads the Texans on, where he plays greater than 50% of the staff, he gets a $50K bonus. So very much indeed, Money Mills. Okay. So Money Mills in prime time. Maybe that will change some things. It was that nasty drink, Stoots. Don't do that again. Yeah, processing the pickle juice, chocolate milk, and apple cider vinegar might have given my immune system a big hit. You're right about that. You're right. Which phase of the game will be the deciding factor? Offense, defense, special teams. Look, if the defense isn't excellent, they're probably not going to win this football game. So the defense has got to be excellent. They've got to be really good, and they've got to help the offense. They got to help them with either a turnover or they've got to fight like hell to make sure that field position is of the utmost importance. So the Texans defense is the most important here. DeRhino with the super chat. Tell us about this stylish Houston football hat. Well, you guys are so nice asking about this. Okay, I'll show you. So you got the Houston football hat. You got the print logo, I guess is the way that I would the print logo is the way that I would phrase it. And then you've got the throwback logo or the original logo for Houston football. So you see it right here on the site. There's a link in the description down below. And we got a bunch of different ones. We even have a flat bill version. One of the great viewers asked for a flat bill, so I've got a limited run of the flat bills. The white hats are fantastic. The black ones, we got the navy ones. I think Patrick picked one of those, the navy ones up. And then we've got this navy snapback trucker that's got the reverse logo, so the blue hat but the reverse Houston football logo. And then we got the Houston football print logo. So you can catch them in the link in the description down below, and I certainly appreciate everybody who buys them. I package them and send them out myself right here from my house, and it's just a cool way, and I like the new design a lot. So I'm a big fan of it, and I appreciate everybody for asking about them and being interested in them. DeRhino, thank you for the super chat on that. And I always send some fun little surprises as well with the hat. So I always try to have some fun stuff in there in addition to what everybody gets with the hat. So appreciate everybody asking about those. You can buy them right there in the link in the description down below. JB Allen, we gave Josh Allen, I believe, the worst game of his career. We can replicate that. Run the ball effectively, and we can win this game 23-21. I don't know if they're winning. I don't know if it's going to be that high scoring. I got more medicine in me than a CVS right now. If we stop Josh Allen, we have a chance. So defense. Yeah, I'm with you, Ricardo. I'm with you. You know what? Let's talk about that defense. Let's talk about the Texans defense and the Bills offense. So let's go through the checkmark game. One of my favorites. Look at the Bills offense here and the Texans defense. Typically, I start with the Texans defense. Let's start with the Bills offense. Let's go through the Bills offense here. So looking at this Bills team here on offense, I want to point out a couple of things. Khalil Shakir may not play in this one. Okay, Khalil Shakir may not play in this game. So that's something to pay attention to here at slot receiver. Keon Coleman got benched last week because he missed a meeting. Like, first round pick, one of their guys missed a meeting, got benched. Apparently, second time he missed a meeting. Josh Palmer's not very good. Dawson Knox is their backup tight end. This is, excluding James Cook when we're talking about this is one of the least impressive pass-catching groups that the Houston Texans have gone against this year, especially if Khalil Shakir cannot play slot for the Bills, because they've got Curtis Samuel, who's hurt right now, and another guy they just signed, Mecole Hardman, he's hurt. So they are light on pass-catching talent. Starting tight end, potentially starting slot guy, and their starting outside guy, he has issues showing up to meetings and being on time. So this is a very unimpressive pass-catching group that the Bills are bringing into this game. Their offensive line's fairly solid. Deion Dawkins is really good. He's like a teach tape guy that a lot of people talk about. Like, he does some unique things that if you can do those, you're probably a pretty good tackle. So Dawkins is going to get a little bit of a check mark. I love James Cook. Candidly, he's on my fantasy team in my big league. He's a very good football player, obviously. He's had some really big success the past year plus in the NFL. He's going to be tough. D'Amico Ryans had a very, very glowing, explanation of what makes him so good that I want to play you, which kind of demonstrates why he gets that check mark.
Yeah, James does a really good job, I think, of really, when they're running the outside zone, he presses his blocks really well. So when he cuts it back with speed, just has a really good feel for the zone scheme that they run. And he has a really good feel for just finding that open area. They do a good job of running off the ball from the offensive line, and he hits it fast and aggressive, and he's a tough tackle. So it's going to take, how we play anyway, it's going to take everybody getting to the ball, swarming the football, just multiple hats, trying to surround him as best we can to get him down.
Oh, by the way, what D'Amico Ryans didn't mention in that clip is James Cook catches the ball like a monster out of the backfield. He had 66 receiving yards last week and a receiving touchdown for his score. So a couple of checks there for the Bills already. And then Josh Allen, he is fantastic. He's one of the best quarterbacks in all of football. And I know he had a bad game last year against the Texans, but what Allen is coming into this game, what he's bringing to the equation, Josh Allen is very, very good. So 4 check marks for the Buffalo Bills here on their offensive side of the football. Let's go to the Texans defense. Let's start top down and work on this. Kalen Bullock, a little bit better game against Tennessee than he had against Jacksonville. It's a good job by him bouncing back. Miles Bryant got picked on a little bit early, settled down. He's also the guy, I know I have the 3 linebackers on the field. He's also the guy that's going to play that Petrie spot over here. So that's something to pay attention to in the game with Miles Bryant, is he's going to drop down and play that nickel corner spot. They'll put Jalen Mills probably on the field there in his place if they decide to elevate Jalen Mills from the practice squad, which I assume they will. But no check mark for Bullock or Bryant, but no negative check mark. The linebackers have gotten picked on a little bit. They've had some rough moments toe-to-toe with a rough tackle game against the Tennessee Titans. So that's something that you have to pay attention to. Let's get down to this defensive line. Danielle Hunter playing at a really high level right now. So check mark for him. Obviously a check mark for Will Anderson. I don't know that either of them are playing at 2 check mark level right now, though Will Anderson, with the run that he's been on here, forced the fumble, picked the fumble up, returned the fumble a little bit. Danielle Hunter, a couple of games ago, the 4-sack game. Between the two of them, they need 3 checks. So between the two of them, that's one of the uglier check marks I've ever made. Between the two of them, we're going to give them 3 checks. So it's the extra one's going to Will this week. It could have very easily gone to Danielle this week. But just know that when you look at the 3 checks between the 2 defensive ends, this is a split check mark. So half a check mark for each of them to give them 3 between the defensive ends. Derek Stingley, he's getting a check mark. He's playing really good football right now. Kamar Lassiter is getting a check mark. He's playing really good football right now. Oh, by the way, Kamar Lassiter had that little hiccup against Chig Okoronkwo in that game. I got to imagine that Kamar Lassiter, after the way he talked about it this week, was pissed about his performance. And so you might even see him more nasty and crazy Kamar Lassiter than usual. And D'Amico Ryans, for what he has done. I know it says Ryans. I know Matt Burke calls the defense. I know he's the voice in Aziz's ear, but it's D'Amico's defense. So we're getting a check mark here for the coordinator for the Houston Texans. So the outside corners get us 2 check marks. The combination of the additional 3 between the 2 ends gets us to 5. D'Amico Ryans gets us to 6 here for the Houston Texans with their defense. So 6-4 advantage before we get to the other side of the ball for both of these teams. We'll get to some of your comments, your questions, your joys, and your concerns right after I tell you about my friends at TDECU. The Texans debit card is available for you at TDECU. You can find out about all the fantastic perks, including 15% off at the online team store when you visit tdecu.org/Texans. Your credit union is not just a slogan. They made it. When you're a member at TDECU and membership is required and they're insured by the NCUA, there's more for your money to do and work with you than traditional places where you put your money. I got my Texans debit card in less than 20 minutes, in and out, one of the 15 greater Houston area locations. I went to the Greenway one. Jordan is who helped me out there. Jordan was very interested in the YouTube page and talking about the Texans and talking about the Texans debit card. And, how did you find TDCU? Well, funny story. You say that in and out in 20 minutes, but they explain everything. Hey, this type of checking account does this for you. This type of checking account does this for you. This type of savings account. If you've got a business and you want to put your business checking with them, they'd be happy to talk to you. If you want to start setting up college funds, you want to think about buying a home, TDCU would love to talk to you about all those things. 15 greater Houston area locations, and all you have to do is be a resident of the state of Texas to get signed up at TDCU. Check them out, tdcu.org/Texans, tdcu.org/Texans. Appreciate my friends at TDECU for sponsoring the video. So we'll get to the defense of the Buffalo Bills and the offense of the Houston Texans here in just a moment, right after I get to the super chats, the comments, the questions, the joys, and the concerns. Excuse me. Sam's had the Kleenexes on sale, so I'm fully stocked here. I'm fully stocked. Ricardo with the super chat. Appreciate you, Ricardo. Cody going to need some high grades so the cold can pass in time for Spankies. Man, it's just there's a couple different cold remedies that I have, and thankfully my voice is better than it was yesterday because it took me about 3-4 hours to get warmed up in the morning where I can actually talk. But nothing hits when nothing sounds good to eat. I was thinking about a burger. I was thinking about cooking some eggs or this and that, and I got some chicken noodle soup and some crackers, and I actually got 2 giant chicken noodle soups and ate both of them. That made me feel better. But it's amazing how hungry I get when I am sick. I'll eat anything. I ate like a whole bag of popcorn yesterday. I had like one of those I don't even remember what kind it was. It was like sweet and salty or something. And I just was firing that down, and I was just like, God, nothing makes me feel better. But getting the energy drink in me today, that's going to get me going. I've already chugged a ton of water. It's just, when you're sick, man. My mom used to always do the take Vicks Vapor Rub and put it on the bottom of your feet and then sleep with socks on. But I didn't have any Vicks Vapor Rub, so I didn't do that. But I appreciate you, Ricardo. And yeah, Spankies Friday. Don't miss that. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be Reaction Monday on a Friday at Spankies. So it's a totally different Spankies show. We'll go through the Kings of the Turf. We'll go through where credit is due. We'll go through the landlocked key moments of the game. We'll go through Cody's context. There'll be a ton of great stuff at Spankies. So you do not want to miss it. Be there early. We arrive at 3. We get live at 4. And the food's fantastic. The drinks are great. And it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a really, really fun one at Spanky's, so don't miss out on that. Couple more comments, your questions, your joys, and your concerns. Let's see here. Where did I? Crack Nicholson. I was at work and thought of trading CJ to the Raiders for Bowers and some picks. Haven't been able to get it off my mind, to be honest. They're not trading you Brock Bowers and picks for CJ Stroud. And the Texans aren't ready to trade CJ Stroud right now. So I'm happy to have all those conversations. We can talk about that if it gets to that point. But right now, CJ Stroud don't want to leave the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans don't want CJ Stroud to leave. You know what they want? They want him to get healthy and kick the Indianapolis Colts' ass next week. That's what they want. Okay, but I'm happy to have those conversations when they get here. I do believe Las Vegas would be one of those teams that would be intrigued to have CJ Stroud. Rich Boy J, Cody Stoots, you're too kind. Thank you. Thank you. JB's says, afternoon, y'all. Appreciate you for checking in. Jay McDaniels, let's go, fellas. Like the video, 61 people versus 12 likes. Yeah. Hit the little thumbs up if you feel so inclined. In the last 4 years, the Battle Red jersey has not brought us luck. Yeah, they got smacked around on Christmas last year in the Battle Red jerseys. That was not great. I was kind of hoping, or no, that was the H-Town jerseys. I was hoping they should have worn the Battle Red jerseys for Christmas. They should have the candy cane, red on top, and then the white pants, but they wore the H-Town. Nah, the Battle Red jerseys aren't cursed. Let's see here. Enrique Luna, I hope not, but I feel like this game is a game that Mills has an okay day, but we tell ourselves if Stroud was playing, it'd be better and come out with a win. Yeah, look, you very well could run into a team like the Buffalo Bills where you say, man, if they had CJ Stroud and he'd played a little bit better than Davis Mills, they'd have won. Yeah, that certainly would have happened. I think you could say that with the Denver game. If Stroud had finished the Denver game, maybe they win that game. But you know, that's part of the charge here for the backup quarterback is don't have that feeling. That's a successful day for the backup quarterback if you don't have that feeling. So let's see if Mills can give you that feeling. JB, I ordered the white trucker hat and the red hat. I get to wear a trucker hat for the first time ever. And these are great trucker hats too. I mean, they got big boy sizing. So, you know, if you got a big head like I do, you don't have to get to the very last little clicky part. They wash up well, you know, if you ever need to wash them. And they don't hold stink. So that's good. Get some trucker style hats, dudes. That's what they are. They are trucker style hats. Jerseys are fine though. Much rather lose in those than the Liberty Whites. I like the red unis. I wish the red unis were their main jersey. Hopefully Battle Red unis hyped them up. They seem to do better in the H-Town unis. Hopefully they bring that energy. Good to see you, Christopher. Houston football do-rags win. Send me an email. I'll see what I can come up with, Rich Boy. I'll see what I can come up with. And JB Allen says I would rock one. Rich Boy, I don't know anything about that. That is something that I'm going to need you to help me out with. So you gotta send me an email. If you really want that, I'll try to find it. Smelly says, my biggest issue is late game QB runs when we play conservative deep. Yeah, the Josh Allen QB runs is going to be something that you have to pay attention to. Because if Lawrence and Ward and Mayfield and those guys get loose on you, Josh Allen's definitely going to get loose on you. Definitely. Josh Allen gets like 4 check marks. He does it all. Yeah, it was McCaffrey's the only one that's ever gotten the 3 checkmark designation. But Allen's pretty close, man. Shakir did miss last year. Shakir's good to go. He had no report on their injury report. Okay, so theirs is already out. They already wrapped up the day here in Buffalo. Yeah, I guess they are an hour ahead. Always got a Sal Capaccio is the Buffalo guy that I go to. Okay, so Hardman officially out, Kincaid officially out, Samuel officially out, and then Shakir back. So did not practice personal, but no game status. So I guess he'll be good to go. But no practice this week for Shakir is interesting. Okay, good grab, Drew. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I can see why some may think it's an exciting Thursday night football matchup. I'm just not a fan of it happening so soon after Sunday, especially given the fact CJ Petrie are out. I hope they still win. Yeah, coffee lover, they can win without those guys. It's going to be very hard. How many points will it take to beat the Bills? And how do we get there? Rushing yards, passing yards. I mean, if your defense plays excellent, it's probably going to take 20 points still. It's probably going to take 20 points. So you got to get there with a couple of touchdowns, a couple of field goals. So, you probably need a short field, and the Texans take advantage of it for a score. And then you may need a run forward drive. Look, the Bills cannot defend the run. Sean Tucker, who's the backup running back for the Buccaneers, went nuts last week. They cannot defend the run in Buffalo. So you've got to be able to run the football. That'll help you sustain drives. That'll make things easier on Mills on second and third downs. So you've got to be able to run the football. What percentage chance would you say Woody Marks can have productive seasons, all-purpose yards-wise, like James Cook? Not quite the same guy, but could he be a version of James Cook? Maybe in like the best-case scenario, but Cook was a much, much better college football player than Woody Marks was. Woody, to me, the best version of Woody is a 1B to a 1A running back. How do the Texans get that 1A running back? I don't know. My excitement for Woody Marks was he's the perfect complement to Joe Mixon, and obviously they haven't had Joe Mixon. So, to me, Woody Marks is a perfect 1B to a really good 1A. Brandon, this won't be high scoring. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game at all. If we lose, it'll be by a field goal. Rick says, gotta get a love to the Texans defensive backs or defensive tackles, excuse me. They're slapping balls down at a pretty good rate. Yeah, they're solid. They're solid, but it hadn't been super consistent. What's been Bullock's biggest issue with the missed tackles? He's too aggressive, bad at calculating angles. I think he's taken a couple of bad angles here and there, but I think he's had some really nice tackling moments too. Like the bad ones stick out, but we probably don't pay as much attention to the good ones. So I think he's had some good moments. All right, let's get to the other side of the ball here for both these teams. The Texans offense, the Buffalo Bills defense in this one. So this Bills defense, they got a couple of nice players here. Joey Bosa has sort of revived his career a little bit. He was just kind of cruising along there at the end of his tenure there with the Chargers, just kind of there a little bit. But he's gotten a little bit better, and he has been a little bit better here for the Buffalo Bills. Let's go ahead and add over there 4 from that, and we'll add over the 6 from the Texans on that side. So, you know what? Executive decision here. I didn't do it, but we're going to make it 5 here. I'm giving Josh Allen a third check mark. Because if McCaffrey gets a third check mark, Allen probably needs a third check mark. He's that damn good. He is their passing offense. He is their rushing offense. So, retroactively, I'm adding a check mark to Josh Allen to get them to 5. Okay. But Bosa's been fine. Rousseau's fine. Their defensive tackles are fine. They have some good linebacker play. I'd kind of would split a check mark almost between these linebackers because they've had some Terrell Bernard's a really nice player. So I kind of want to split a check mark between them because Milano is a guy that they trust a lot. And as now that he's back, he's, a little bit better for them. So I kind of want to split a check mark. Let's just go with a check mark there, right there in the middle. So we'll split it between these two guys. Okay, so split check mark there. Cole Bishop's one of my absolute favorite draft picks from a couple of years ago. He was awesome at the Senior Bowl. Watching him in college, he was fantastic, and he has turned into a really nice player with them and for them. A really nice player. I'd like to give their secondary combined between Bishop and Johnson, who's a really good slot guy. I'm going to give them a little check mark here. So a little half check mark for each of these guys. So to get them a check mark here on this one. Well, that's ugly. Let's get that cleaned up here. So a little half check mark between Cole Bishop and Johnson. These two guys are really good players for the Buffalo Bills. Binford's solid. White's older, not as good. Poyer's a veteran. So, like, it's kind of a collective check for the secondary. Okay. So they're going to get a little split check for the linebackers. They're going to get a little split check for the secondary. I'm going to put the check next to their punter. They have some pretty good special teams overall. So they're going to get a special teams check mark for this one. So special teams check mark for this one. That's something that we need to pay attention to because it's a pretty solid special teams unit. So a collective check mark for their secondary, their linebacker split one. Deion Walker is a player that could cause a lot of problems for Patterson and Andrews. He's a giant human being. Rookie out of Kentucky, huge guy. He could really clog some things up. So Patterson and Andrews, should that be the left guard center spot, they're going to have to move him. Titus Howard, when he gets an opportunity, on him as well. So let's see if the Texans can keep him from being a big issue here. All right, so you add in the Allen check plus the other stuff on offense. They get an additional 3, and that checks them in at 8 check marks here for the Buffalo Bills in this matchup. Not a lot on defense to get excited about from this Bills standpoint. Not a lot on defense. Let's go over to offense here for the Texans. Woody Marks, you notice I moved him into the starting spot. He's been the starting running back for the past 2 weeks. He's going to be the guy. Davis Mills, maybe if he'd had just a tiny bit more consistency in the Tennessee Titans game, I'd throw him a check mark. He just hasn't been, or they had that slow offensive start there for the first, half plus. So no check mark there for Davis Mills this week after a check mark last week. Jaden Higgins is getting close, man. We're getting reliable, trying to figure some things out. We're not giving Kaylee or Fairbairn check mark. Certainly not Christian Kirk. The offensive lines not getting a check mark. Dalton Schultz, man, consistency and toughness. Consistency and toughness gets you a check mark. And then Nico Collins, man, he has played his ass off the past 2 weeks. I don't know if they have anybody to stop him. Nico's getting 2 check marks. It feels like prime Nico Collins right now. Feels like star wide receiver Nico Collins right now. Nico Collins getting 2 check marks in this one. So 3 check marks on offense for the Texans, and that gets them to 9 on the day, 8 for the Buffalo Bills. Texans win the checkmark game, 9-8. All right, I didn't know that I expected that. Again, 5 from the offense of the Bills, with 1 being Deion Dawkins, 1 being James Cook, and 3 being Josh Allen. The only other 3 checkmark person we've seen this year was Christian McCaffrey. And then the Texans, 6 from defense, 3 from the defensive ends, 1 from each corner, and then 1 from D'Amico Ryans as a coordinator, designer of the defense, and then the 3 here from Schultz and Collins gets them to 9. So 9-8, the Texans win the checkmark game. What do you think about that? Huh? Checkmark game winners, the Houston Texans. All right, excuse me as I deal with my cold or flu or whatever the hell I'm getting. Charles, it's nice to meet you the other day. Appreciate you for coming out to Spanky's. This afternoon, Cody and friends. Enjoyed last Friday at Spanky's. Yeah, it's great to meet you, man. Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate the fantastic support of the channel. And you got to watch a live show in person at Spanky's. Got to have some of that delicious Spanky's food. The beer's cold over there at Spanky's. So it's good. Appreciate you for coming through, Charles. Thank you. This is a new one. I hadn't seen this one. Pandaline in moderation. We all know Josh is going to kill us with his legs. Unfortunately, I wouldn't put it past the Texans to not have a plan to prepare for it. Hope I'm wrong. Part of the plan is if your defensive ends are just good enough, you won't have as much Josh Allen problems. Like if you can force him into making a decision fast and then everybody kind of gets to him. But I did not get the sense they're going to spy Josh Allen. I don't know that that's the way to approach it or to attack it. I don't get the sense of that, but they're going to have something ready for Josh Allen's legs. Got to have something. So, Panelina Moderation, appreciate you for the super chat. I want to take a quick second for my friends at Man. Excuse me, man. Oh, Cody, what do you have on your face there? Oh, nothing. Just my tool for the best sleep ever. Get deeper sleep with a Manta sleep mask, a breathable, lightweight, light-blocking tool that takes away all the light that makes your sleep so much better, man. This thing is lightweight and it blocks every bit of the light, and it's totally adjustable. It's not going to slip or anything like that while you're sleeping. I'm a side sleeper. This one doesn't move. You can even adjust where the eyes go. And again, breathable. Lets the air through. You're not going to get hot. I was worried I was going to get hot wearing this. That is not the case, my friends at Manta. This sleep mask, it blocks out all the light. It makes my naps even better. It's going to be incredible for travel. Chilling on the plane, I'll be conked out. I won't see any of that awfulness. Long car rides, on road trips, they're even better with Manta sleep mask. You'll be at your destination just like that. Get you one and get 10% off. Use my code STOOTS, STOOTS, in all caps, STOOTS, STOOTS. Get 10% off your order. The link in the description down below. My friends at Manta want to take care of your sleep, make it deeper than ever. All right, I'm back. Manta came in at the perfect time. Let me blow my nose here. Kleenex Cody. All right, that's funny, Rich Boy J. Paul Lawrence. Hey, Cody, when will Tank Dell be back? Saw him catching balls from CJ Stroud. Hope he's coming back. Go Texans. I would think that it's going to be the 2026 season before you see Tank Dell. I would not put anything on 2025 for him. I mean, 2026 season. Thank you for the kind words. I hope I feel better sometime soon as well. Gustavo, is it possible to have Brooks run that QB sneak for the extra push? I do like the experiments that different teams have gone through, having different players run the QB sneak. I do really enjoy watching that. The Seahawks use A.J. Barner, their tight end. I would be interested in the Texans finding a different QB sneak guy. But Stroud ran it effectively, although with the concussions, maybe you don't want him to run it anymore. Mills is a big guy. If they don't run it from the 2, trying to get 2 yards, then, maybe it'll be a little bit better. Brandon says he thinks Mills can pull it off. I don't know if he's talking about the QB sneak or the game, but I can see both. Yes. Yeah, man. Coors with Cody. I'll be at NRG Thursday, going to pregame like a mofo. All right, you're going to have fun, man. Thursday night football. Usually get everybody in their seats for Thursday night football as opposed to that nooner. So it should be good. When will we see Jimmy Ward on the field anytime soon? Because he's a couple of bodies back at safety. Yeah, Jimmy's still coming back from that foot injury, so I think he's still a long while away. Should have won the Lions game last year in the Battle Reds. Yeah, should have. Horrible second half. Probably the second half that got Bobby Slowick fired. Nico Collins making his new Battle Reds debut, by the way. Do you believe if the Texans finish 7 and 10 or 8 and 9, Casario will be gone? That from Curtis. 8 and 9 probably good enough to keep his job. 7 and 10, there might be a conversation. Might be a conversation. After tomorrow, Mills and CJ will be 3-0 as starters. Okay, all right. I see what you're saying there, 22. JB says, I'm going to buy flannel shirts to go with my trucker hats. Greetings from Germany. Stefan, appreciate you for checking in. Thank you. Chosen notes say they do good against Allen. They certainly had a good game last year. Cody, do y'all see players' vehicles? I do not. They park on the other side of the stadium from where we walk in. So we do not see their vehicles. Every now and then, maybe you could see one in the background of the walk-in stuff that the Texans social posts. But no, we don't see their vehicles. Didn't Stroud practice today? He practiced yesterday. The Texans have not released, to my knowledge, their estimated practice report with their final game bits here. Here's what I would say: he's already been ruled out. So even if he did practice today, that's about Indianapolis. It's not about this week. Cody, remember, you and Landry have to hit the squabble if we win. You better hit it right. Yeah, that was a bad try. Well, I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. If you're talking to me, that's an impossible question to answer. Tons of good jobs everywhere, even more bad jobs typically. Oh, you're talking about truckers. Okay, they're trucking. There we go. I think Woody Marks is the key to us winning. He's got to have a good game. Chubb and Woody, they got to have a good game. They've got to be able to run the football. And if they run the football well and they have success running the football, it's going to make everything else easier on offense. It's going to keep Josh Allen off the field. And it will hopefully get them in scoring range for Kaimi a couple times, and will hopefully make things easier for Mills, Collins, and company to put some touchdowns on the board. Paul checking in from across the pond. Appreciate you, Paul. Evening, Cody from the UK. Hope y'all are good and happy. We are indeed. You don't think they'll roll with Ingram at guard? I feel he's better fit for this week in the run game. Now, they certainly could do that, although I felt like Trent Brown moved some bodies there in the run game. Now, if you told me they went Trent Brown at right tackle, Ingram at right guard, and moved Titus over to left guard, they could certainly do that. Patterson's strength is not run blocking. It's pass blocking. But I don't know if you want to do that new offensive line combination on a short week. I would think the short week lends itself to keeping what you had last week. Allen deserves 3 check marks. Probably the only player worthy of the 3 check marks. Certainly. That's why we added that extra one. Our offense has done well. If we can consistently run if they're running the ball well, they should have a pretty good day. If they get in their own way and don't run the football well, it might be a long Thursday night. Wish they would switch out Kirk with Noel. You and me both, Joe. You and me both. We ended up getting prime Nico Collins because of the quarterback change. It certainly hasn't hurt. Will Kunkel checking in. He says, love you. Ditto. Abraham, he's checking in. Good to see you. That transition was scary. Yep. Me showing up with my Manta sleep mask out of nowhere. That'll get you. That'll get you. Mario says, I really believe the Texans pull the upset at home, limiting Allen in the air, and probably gets about 50 yards running. He's going to run the football. And really, it's not like he's like Mike Vick where it's like, oh, like he had 500 yards of offense and he had 150 on the ground. And it's not like that. It's just like 3rd and short. He just takes off, gets it. Red zone. He just takes off when everybody's covered, gets it, touchdown. Like it's really that. It's not like it's like designed runs and he's lighting you up for like 150 rushing yards. That's not really how he does it. But he just gets runs done in critical moments, in key moments in the game where, 3rd and long, everything's covered. And the next thing you know, Josh Allen scrambles for 11 yards and they need 10. Like that's what he does that just back breaks you. Cody got that bug going around. Yeah, I do. I think we win the next 2 and lose at Arrowhead. I'm having a tough time figuring out this Chiefs team. I'm having a real tough time figuring out this Chiefs team. That's going to be an intriguing one. Does our offense match up better against the Bills? Match up better against Bills than the Titans defense? Well, the Bills don't have those as good a run stuffers as the Titans do, but they're better everywhere else than the Titans are. So the Bills are a better defense than the Titans, certainly. The scruff's a good look. I mean, I had to shave for the Halloween costume. It's coming back in. It's not a good look because I got the grays coming in and it's all patchy over here and you got the gray over here but it's better than my big fat Jabba the Hutt chin hanging out. At least the hair can distract you from that. Does it make sense rotating at left guard Scruggs for run, Patterson for passing? No, I don't think so. I don't want to see rotating anymore at guard. I want them to start a guy and stick with And you run into a situation where you're telegraphing things, which would not be good. You think CJ can learn from how Mills handles the offense? Yeah, throw the ball to Nico Collins a whole hell of a lot more, and don't freak out when you get a little bit of pressure. Those are two things I'd love for CJ to carry over. Cody, I'm still alive in the Houston Football Survivor League. What do I get if I win? She wants the D going to outlist everybody. Is that your name in there? Yeah, I need to go through and send everybody an email about that. If you outlasted me, which you did because I lost like 3 weeks in, if you outlasted me in Houston football, you're going to win something. If you're the last man standing, you'll win a gift card. You win a gift card, or maybe a hat if you want it. But you'll probably pick the gift card. If Mills does it again, give CJ a 4th week. Hold on now, Chosen. Come on now. We shouldn't trade CJ Stroud. Keep him here. If he goes somewhere else, he'll win a Super Bowl. Paul, we're not talking about trading CJ Stroud right now. Ashton says, Cody, just so you know, I was mad at you for the majority of the game Sunday after that whole no way they lose thing, LMAO. Well, they didn't lose. Did you ever feel like they were losing that football game? They were not going to lose to the Tennessee Titans. Were they going to go to overtime and have to win? Sure. They were not going to lose. Patrick's watching at 3 times speed. I can't even imagine how strange that sounds. Heisenberg, that's why I mess with Cody. Respects his subscribers, goes out of his way to read our comments. I just appreciate everybody one day there will be so many comments. I can't get to all of them, but I'm going to try to get to as many as I can right now. All right, getting Amanda a stocking stuffer for the wife. It's a great idea, Don. Great idea. Get 10% off with my code Stoots. Hit the link in the description. Sid says Cody is the best. Thank you. Thank you. Keep pushing Landry on the one chip. He changed the subject on that real quick a while back. If I get the chips, he'll have to do them. So you know what? I'm going to go to Amazon right when we get done, and I'll go get us some chips for Landry, some one chip challenge. You can't buy them in the stores anymore because I guess they killed a kid. That's unfortunate. Jared's in the Big Apple, sending prayers for the Texans from the Big Apple. They might need them. Cody, tell us more about how much you love Graham Mertz. I don't. I wish he was Kyle Monungai. The Bears took Monungai in the 7th round. Monungai's been awesome. He's been one of the best rookie running backs when he's gotten his opportunities. Okay, Cody, hear me out. Let's rotate guards. No guard rotations. No guard rotations. This is an underrated aspect of the situation. The offense needs to keep the defense fresh. You will definitely need to be fresh to take down Josh Allen. So if you're constantly out there, eventually he's going to wear on you and he'll find a way to beat you. And him and James Cook can do that. That's an underrated element of the offense is, hey, keep the defense fresh. And they've had some really good games and they've been able to keep the defense fresh. You can keep your lawn fresh by always having Texans turf. It's always fresh. It's always clean. It's always green. Landry went and did all the shopping. And I remember talking to him when he was talking to all these turf companies. He's like, this guy's, I don't know about this. And then he talked about Dan the Man. And Dan the Man at Texans turf took care of Landry. And I've been in that backyard and it is fantastic. It is so nice. And you can do it for your home. You can put a putting green or a play area. Maybe you want it for your place of business. Maybe you want it for your rental property that you have so you don't have to worry about lawn maintenance. Look, Texans turf, when you put it in your house, it increases your home's value and it frees up your time on the weekends. No more missing key college football Saturday games because you're out there doing yard work. No more tired at 11 for kickoff because you got up at 7 to do all your yard work. It's always green, always clean with Texans Turf. You can see all the beautiful work they've done at TexansTurf.com. You can schedule that free estimate for Texans Turf right there on the website, TexansTurf.com. Appreciate them for being great sponsors here on the SNL universe, if you will. Ricardo says, what are you getting a sip on Friday, Cody? Well, definitely going to have me a Pepsi Zero. They got a good fountain over there at the Spankies. They got a good fountain over there at Spankies. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they get a little bit more syrup than some other places, but they got the best Pepsi Zero in town. Okay, so definitely get me one of those. And then probably a brewski or two. Maybe if we could just get a little bit cooler weather, I'd go into something a little bit darker in the beers. But, the light beer, domestic light and cold is pretty tough to beat. Pretty tough to beat. Icy Gambino. If we beat the Colts both times and the Bills, where does that leave us in a playoff run? Okay, let's play this out here. Let's say they beat the Colts both times. So that gets them to 7 wins. You beat the Bills. That gets you to 8 wins. Let's call it a win against the Raiders and a win against the Cardinals. That gets you to 10. So 11 if you split the Chiefs and the Chargers. So that'd be 1 loss down the stretch, which would be you'd be on an incredible roll there if you're the Texans. So you get up to 11 wins. Is 11 with 2 wins against the Colts. Is that enough? So you got to find 4 more losses for the Colts. So they need to lose to the Chiefs this weekend. They'd probably have to drop the Seahawks game. So you probably, if you beat them twice and they lose to the Chiefs and the Seahawks and they win the rest of their games, you'd have the same record as them. And you'd be the AFC South champion. And you probably would be ahead of the AFC North champion, and you'd be the 3 seed. Now we're just playing that out, okay? Let's say you didn't let's say you got to 10. If you got to 10, you're probably the 5 seed because you probably have the 6 seed. You probably have the tiebreaker over Buffalo, tiebreaker over Baltimore, tiebreaker over Pittsburgh, tiebreaker over Jacksonville if you got to that level, tiebreaker over the Chiefs if they were still in there. I guess you wouldn't have the tiebreaker. The 10 gets you to the 5 or the 6 or the 7. 11 probably gets you to the 3. So just playing that out kind of in my brain, that's probably where you go. The interior D-line and O-line need to have a good game. Yeah, look, if you got guys batting balls down, you're putting in some heat, some pressure on the interior, and getting after Allen that way, forcing him out into the ends, you're going to have a good day. And then you got to get some push on the inside. Yeah, the one chip, I think as a kid had like a heart thing or a stomach thing. I don't know. That's why they don't sell it in stores anymore. And yeah, they have that weird lemonade from Panera. Yeah, 11-6 is very likely if you beat the Colts twice and you beat the Bills. 9-8, we're still in it if the Jags and Chargers are 9-8. I don't know, man. So I think the Chiefs have a chance to get to 10 wins. The Ravens have a chance to get to 10 wins. The Steelers have a chance to get to 10 wins. So I don't know, man. I don't think 9's going to get you in. How many picks will Daniel Jones throw against the Texans this year? At least 4. Well, from your lips to God's ears, Dime. Honestly, Texans just need to focus on a win every week. Don't worry about any scenarios. Just play as hard as they can. Yeah, the team can't worry about the scenarios. Yours truly can. Yours truly can, for sure. Crack Nicholson. It's not that I want to get rid of CJ. I just watched something, and someone talked about what for and where CJ would go. So I've just been thinking, I agree, Cody. Yeah, we will have those conversations at length if it ever gets to that point, but it is not to that point right now. It is not to that point right now at all. So, what are you trying to do here? Beep, beep, beep. Trying to get me to do the 6-7. I don't even know what it means. Kids are weird. They make weird things popular. So, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's a game on Amazon Prime. Yes, it is on Amazon Prime. And if you are local, it will be broadcast on Fox 26 locally. So if you're local, it'll be broadcast on Fox 26. But the game is on Amazon Prime, indeed, yes. Score prediction, it will come out tomorrow morning on Houston Football, so be on the lookout for that. What's up, Stoots? If Davis Mills wins this game, I'm buying a Mills Road jersey. Oh, okay. Rewarding Davis Mills with a jersey purchase if he wins this one. I like that. I like that. Good to see you at this AFC South show. Prime Vision. I love watching Thursday night games on Prime Vision. I love it. It's such a great view, and that'll be a great little extra view for me because I get to watch the game from the press box. I see the play happen, then typically the TV gives me a replay, and then I'll be able to watch the Prime Vision replay too. So I love Prime Vision. It's an alternate broadcast of the game. They do some funky stats sometimes, but it's really fun. It's good. Okay, don't forget Spanky's this Friday, Reaction Friday, Reaction Monday on a Friday, however you want to say it. Don't forget to see us at Spanky's. Usual time, arrive at 3, live at 4. So don't miss out on that. You can buy a hat. Links in the description down below. Support the great sponsors. Appreciate everybody for supporting the sponsors, supporting the show. It means the world to myself, Landry, all our great sponsors. And look, we bring stuff to the table that we think you folks will like. And it seems like you guys like it a lot. So we appreciate everybody for checking out our sponsors, getting debit cards and turf and all that kind of stuff. So it makes our job so much fun. And we really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. Couple more. My 11-year-old girl said Texans 20-7. Look, I'm not explaining things in detail to her, so I'll go with it. I'll send you a free hat if they win 20-7. And that's on tape, so you can see that. All right, so that'll do it for today. We end the live stream the same way each and every time. It's my hope for you. This is my charge for you as well. I want you to eat good. I want you to sleep good. I want you to be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. SNL this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Don't miss out on that. Appreciate everybody for watching the video. Have a fantastic rest of your day. It is game day tomorrow. I can't wait. And we have a new outro for you. So appreciate everybody for watching the video. Have a fantastic.
All right, I'm done.